Happy New Year's, everybody. I hope that you all had a very safe and as enjoyable of a New Year's as you can with having all of the restrictions with COVID. I hope that this year brings all of us health, prosperity, and abundance. And so we're just going to be seeing just in a minute what the cards have in store for us. There's a few announcements that I wanted to make first before I got into the reading itself. I just a couple hours ago posted my sales for January on my website, and most importantly, the Wheel of the Year readings. So the Wheel of the Year reading that I'm going to be doing here soon, I can do for you as well, which I've actually already done about at least a dozen, if not 15 Wheel of the Year readings up to this point. And for all of January, my Wheel of the Year readings will be on sale, 50 for half an hour and 100 for an hour, as opposed to 75 and 150. And I'm also starting a new class series, which I tried to start last year and then COVID hit, and I have all the descriptions of everything on my website. But this is called the Manifest Your Higher Self class, which I actually had to break it up into different parts to be able to do them one-on-one as opposed to doing them in my office with a large class, which actually I am actually looking forward to this version more. And I've honestly been enjoying the more one-on-one classes than, I mean, it's always fun to have lots of people in a class, but it's always a surprise of how those classes turn out. And with this class in particular, it is going to be completely revolving around you. And so there's 2 classes on body, there's 2 classes on mind, and there's 2 classes on spirit. And since I'm not going to be having, I don't see it in any time in the near future, in-person large classes, you just need to schedule it with me, and we can go from there. And you could do 1 class a month or 2 classes a month, and I have the pricing all there on my website. I do have a couple more openings tomorrow for classes and readings, and also for next week. And I'm actually extending my hours starting today for the rest of this year, or at least this semester. I cut back on what classes I'm teaching at my college, so that way I have more time in my office, because I actually had to put a stop to how many people I was doing personal classes with. And so that's actually very exciting. I'm very excited to open that up. So I'll be having more hours on Mondays and Thursdays and Saturdays. Another thing, my YouTube channel has all of the videos that I created. Well, even all of the New Year's readings that I did beforehand, as well as the weekly readings weekly videos that I did last year concerning COVID and the social unrest and everything. So I posted all of those on my YouTube channel, which is Priestess Andarta. So you can go there, please subscribe, and I will be posting this video as well as when I actually start getting back into doing the weekly videos. I'm mostly just waiting to see what I'm supposed to be doing as to, from my spirit guides as to when I need to start those videos back up. But if there is something in particular that you would like me to do a video on, there's something that you're wondering about or concerned or whatever, then you can always just message me and I can always make a video about it. Okay. And then the last announcement, and then I'll get to the reading, is I'm going to be joining Patreon this month. This is a website for artists and creative people that are doing all their writings and things. And I'm looking at new avenues. This last year was definitely the year for me to have to learn all new technology, much to my dismay. But it's been good, making me learn and stretch my boundaries. And so I'm going to be joining Patreon soon. So just look for that in both my newsletter as well as on my website. Okay. All right. So this the Wheel of the Year is basically a 13 card spread, and I just do month by month what we all should be looking towards or be aware of. And then the 13th card is the key card, which is what is affecting all of this. And you're welcome to look at my previous Wheel of the Year readings that I have all posted on my YouTube page, just, from previous years. So I'm going to go ahead and I just center myself and I just ask, what all do we need to know for this year, 2021? Okay. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and then the key card. There we go. Hopefully I can get this all in the camera, or as much as I can. There we go. Okay, so we start with January. It's amusing. So January is the seeker or the fool for all of us. And, the fool, it's not necessarily a negative card. It is starting on a new path, which I do feel that we are absolutely doing that. It's also being about being open-minded and open-hearted to look for your heart's desire. And oftentimes the fool can be seen as naive, which I don't know, I think in some ways, all of the comments about, yay, we're done with 2020, like as if as soon as the clock rolls around that everything's going to be all better. Well, unfortunately, COVID is still here and we're still having a lot of the restrictions and issues, political, all this other stuff. But at least having that hope of starting that new year, of hoping that we can start this new path. Okay. And the most important thing is, a lot of people said last year that, I just want to get back to normal. Well, honestly, normal was not all that great for most people, with all of the different issues that obviously have been brought to the surface with COVID and with the social unrest and all of the other things that were going on this in 2020. And so it's like, let's not get back to normal. Let's get better. Okay, let's start trying to manifest a better reality because, we can see, oh, it was just that year, but it could also be, well, this is our reality, but let's transform that reality. Okay. So that is our January. And so then we get into February. The February card is the Stone 4. And I feel that this is very much directed at all of us for really keeping our money to ourselves as much as we can. Let me see what this is. Is this just a need for all of us to be more, I don't want to say like a Scrooge, but just more frugal with our money? Is this an external source for all of us? Yes. Okay. Well, I feel in some ways that, all right. So this is something that I've been feeling a lot of, and I've talked to a couple of people that I've already done their Wheel of the Year readings, which it's interesting that is yet the same card that I got for a few different people with a different deck for February. I really feel that we are going to be going into a major recession like we haven't already, but I think that it's really going to come into full, to the full extent in the spring of this year. And so I feel that this is really our guides just saying you need to just be a lot more frugal. Like if, I really feel like 2020 has already sort of forced us into that mode in many ways of, okay, what do we want and what do we need? Those are two separate things. But even if you are able to just do a side hustle somewhere, just make a little bit of extra money, just to stash away, because the stone 4 is all about, just keeping money to yourself and not, splurging and things like that. So, I think that that is definitely something that we all need to be a little bit more aware of. Now in March, wow, we have the round table, which in traditional decks, that is the Wheel of Fortune. And that is actually a really interesting card. So with the Wheel of Fortune, it is about having, it's not just money, it's about the shifting of abundance, prosperity, karma as well. So whatever it is that we are putting out into the world, is that what we're receiving? Okay, and I don't feel that it's the whole we're getting all these horrible things happening to us because we're horrible people. I don't feel that that's necessarily the case. I think we need to be more conscious of our karma and our words and our actions. And the Wheel of Fortune, I feel like there is going to be a shift for the better in the most part concerning finances. I think it's more going to be maybe like job growth. I'm seeing just a lot of people starting to work maybe. But once again, is that normal? Because people working does not necessarily mean that they're earning a living wage. And that is, once again, something that this pandemic has really exposed in the American society in general, is that, yeah, you could be working 2 and 3 jobs and still barely making it. So I feel like this is honestly going to be a shift for the better, because things are going to shift, not just yay, more money or something like that. I think there's going to be a transition of some sort concerning, how we expend, how we spend things, how we do things. And, and this pandemic has made us really look at a lot of those things. And then we have, for April, we have Grail 4, which is, it's about disappointment and disappointment in ourselves, disappointment in other people, feeling like maybe you've been had. It can lead to depression. And I wonder if that is part of that energy there, of that depression that I've been feeling. Especially, I keep saying that it was April to many of my clients. And even though we have this really amazing transition, it's going to take time for us to completely change our society so that everybody's taken care of, so that everybody, is getting the food that they need. And just 1 month is not going to change that. So I think that this is, save it on up. Things might change, but then, things are not going to be going well in April. Okay. And I also feel that this disappointment or sadness is that everybody's also just really tired of the pandemic. And I completely understand it. You have no idea how tired I am of this pandemic. But we have to actually get rid of it. We have to be responsible. And unfortunately, it's sort of like we're in a large group project where, we're losing big time because, many of our classmates or whatever are not doing the things that they're supposed to be doing. And then we have May being the Sword Queen. So let me see who or what this is. Is the Sword Queen, is this one specific woman that is going to become prominent in May? Yes, okay. Is this a group of women? No, okay. I feel like this is a woman that, she is definitely the warrior queen in many ways. She is the defender of the weak and the innocent. She stands up for those that cannot stand up for themselves. And I feel like this is going to be a new person that's going to be coming through, or a person that we know, but she is going to have a new project or a new goal or something like that. And she, she does not mince words. She can tell you exactly what she thinks and feels, and you may not like it, but that is part of her sense of truth and justice, is speaking her truth and justice. So that's going to be a really interesting thing of who that is. And I honestly don't know if that's even going to be like a politician. I feel like it's going to be somebody that may be in the medical field. I don't know why I keep getting the medical field, because I don't necessarily associate the Sword Queen with the medical field, but it's like maybe she is championing the medical field or something. I'm not quite sure. And then we have June, which is the Stone Queen. So that's interesting. Is this one specific woman or person that is going to become prominent in June? No. Is this the energies of the Stone Queen? Okay. So the Stone Queen, she's the Earth Queen. She takes care of everybody. She takes care of the planet. She takes care of the household, as far as, and don't just think of it like, she cleans the house and stuff like that. I mean, I'm a medievalist. And so one of the things that I studied for a lot of my publications and things like that were the noble women who were in charge of their households, and so they had to order all the weapons, and they had to be in charge of all of the, so think of it more like a noble queen as far as being in charge of an entire area. And I think and this is not one specific person. I feel like this is going to be some type of energy that we're all going to need to start embracing or doing as far as our own homes. Defend, not necessarily, but maybe defend the homes. But it's more of, just reassessing our home situation, which once again, I feel like we have done that a lot with the pandemic. But it's like, with it being in June especially, I wonder if it's new projects for the household to make it a better environment. It's also, just trying to be more prosperous and organizing everything and everybody in the household. And she's also very spiritual too. The Earth Queen, she's very in touch with nature and, and the earth. And so I think that's going to be all of our energies is once we get to June. And I still don't feel that the pandemic is going to be done by June. Honestly, I really, really hate to say that. And back when it first started, everybody asked me, "Oh, this isn't going to take very long, is it, to get rid of?" And I'm like, I was seeing a year, but now it has since shifted because of people not being responsible, and now I'm seeing more like end of summer, beginning of fall, maybe of this year. So I think that this is once again us just, reassessing our housing situation and the finances. So that's June. Okay. July is the Stone 3, which that's interesting. Now, the Stone 3 is all about apprenticeships and new jobs. And so I wonder if we are actually going to start having, after we have this bit of not fun of this depression and this, things maybe not coming through so much, but Stone 3, I think we're actually going to start having a job surge. And also it's going to really make us look at what our jobs are right now. And a lot of people honestly really stay in miserable jobs. You have no idea how many readings I do for people that and that's our society right now, because we don't have universal health care for us to be just taken care of and to work wherever we want to. We have to stay in horrible jobs just to be taken care of. And so I think that this feels a lot more, because the Stone 3 is not just a new job, like just another way to make money. It's more like getting onto the career path that you're really wanting. And I think that a lot of this stuff that's been going on has really sort of made people look at, do I really even like my job? Is this really worth it? Is there a different way that I can take care of myself and my family, that I could be happier? And that's really what the Stone 3 is about. It's not just about making more money. It's about being spiritually and emotionally content in your creations, in your work. Okay, so that's actually a very good card. Now, that is in July, right? Yes. Okay. Now, in August, we have the Spear 9. Now, let me see what this might be. Is the Spear 9, is this concerning any type of physical battle? Interesting. Okay. Is this on American soil? Wow. Okay. Well, the Spear 9 is the final stand. It is a final battle of some sort. And I wonder if this might have something to do with, just a lot of the political issues that we've been having, that, we're even just waiting to see what happens next week, right? I don't think that, I don't think that people are just going to go back to being silent after being empowered to be able to say hateful things and be hateful towards other people. And I think that this is going to be yet another, it says the final battle, so hopefully that would just be it, right? But I do feel that it's something, and because it did say it's on American soil, this is not someplace else. And it's also about personal strength and courage to keep on despite how difficult it may seem. And I understand how difficult it is. I think that it is, we're like, how are we even to this place in our, we should be evolved at this point, that we're not having these issues of what is, moral, or why should people all have food, or things like that, that should be very basic necessities that are taken care of, are still being debated in our society. And, but this is part of our group evolution. And we are really very much on a crossroads in many ways, I feel. That there are many that support the cutthroat viewpoints, the, backstabbing, just do whatever you can and screw everybody else type of ideas and energies. I think that that has been, empowered in the past 4 years. And so we can't just silence that again. We have to try to figure out what to do with this. And that is part of our group evolution, which is very not fun, honestly, but growth is never, and healing is never a fun thing. If you ever broke a limb or something, when you're healing, that's never a pleasant sensation, right? It's once you're all done that's when you feel better. So I think that this is indicating that we have yet many months ahead of us of contention and strife, political issues of silly things like wearing masks or not. And it's about, can you put yourself in other people's positions? That's what, we're really facing right now. So that is August. So September is the Two of Swords. And that's really weird because I just said that we were at a crossroads. So the Two of Swords represents being at a crossroads. Is this our society being at a crossroads concerning political issues? Yes. Is this concerning the pandemic? Okay. Well, it was both for the pandemic and for political issues, which the pandemic is a political issue, apparently. But it's like we are definitely going to be at a crossroads for making some decisions. I wonder if part of it is have we shifted? Have we changed enough? Have we, are we ready to open everything back up and to go back into normal school situations and things like that? I think that might be part of that, honestly, is are we going to be safe enough to send our kids back 5 days a week? Or is that something of the past that we're not ever going to have again? I mean, I really feel like a lot of this is shifting our reality. And it's also made us look at, what are we capable of doing and not? And but it's also been very difficult, especially for lower incomes families, of trying to keep up with schooling when it's done at home if you don't have all the technology. So it's really double-edged sword as far as making some of these decisions. So that is September. October, oh, great. All right, I want some happy cards. So the Five of Spears, this, I call this the contention and strife card. So this is when people, don't know whom to trust. People are constantly backstabbing each other just to get ahead a little bit. Let me see what exactly this might be pertaining to. Is this concerning finances? No. Is this concerning other countries with the United States? Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, I do feel that there's still that whole contention and strife within our society, but this is an external source in October that is going to be, we're going to be questioning, with all of the misinformation everywhere, it's really difficult to know what exactly is going on and what is, just being fed to us to believe certain things. But October is going to definitely be a month of contention, strife, not knowing whom to trust concerning outside countries, different countries, of whether or not maybe they're trying to influence anything, which that's not even a major election year, so I'm not quite sure what that would be concerning, but okay. Okay. And so then November is Sword 7. Is this concerning the issues that are in Spear 5 in October? Okay. Well, the Sword 7 is, I call it the thief card, that there can be, sometimes it's a literal, somebody's going to try to steal something from you, like an object or your money or something like that. But I do feel that this is concerning the external country in October, that they're going to be stealing or taking something from us in November. So, it's not a lot of fun with these energies right here, and especially since, us little people have no say in, what's going on with other countries. So I think it's more of just a heads up than anything. And also really, social media is such a multi-headed beast in many ways. I use it a lot to keep up with my friends and obviously for my business and stuff like that, but also there's a lot of misinformation on there. And I think that that's where a lot of this stems from, because that's where the vast majority of the damage is done anymore, is just on the internet. So I think that something is going to be taken, whether it be a literal thing. I think it's more going to be a figurative or symbolic thing that this outside country is going to be taking from us. It even feels like the symbol of our country being stolen or something like that. I don't know why I keep seeing like an eagle being stolen. I don't know what that means. But it's our symbol that is what we feel represents our society, our country, like the Statue of Liberty or the Liberty Bell or Uncle Sam, all those different symbolic things. I feel like it's going to be figuratively stolen from us by this other country for some reason. I don't know exactly what that means. Oh, please be good. Okay. So then, December is the Grail King. So let's see who this is. Is this a specific person that one person that is going to be prominent in December? Yes. Okay. Is he in the American Society? Yes. Okay. Well, the Grail King, he is a very positive person. And I feel like after all this nonsense going on over here, then we may actually have the problem is we don't really have a champion anymore. We don't have champions anymore, right? We don't have people that we really can completely, without fail say, yeah, they're going to fix it. They're going to, do the right thing. They're going to champion us. And I think that's part of, where we're at right now, honestly, is that we can't look to, especially the politicians, and they can do the best they can, but, really our entire political system needs to be completely redone in some way so that we can have these champions again. And so this Grail King, he is very kind. He's very generous. He is the Water King, so he is a lot more in touch with his emotions than most men. I see him as maybe a healer, honestly. Maybe a man. And I keep seeing Dr. Fauci, I think it is. I don't think that that's who it is, but I mean, he's like, he reminds me of that energy that I didn't even know who he was before the pandemic. I didn't know that he's been in the we've learned so much about who our politicians and who the people are and all the different things are just in this past year, because it's really relying on these people to do their jobs, or if they don't, but I feel like this is going to be another medical person that is going to be new, that's going to come through, that may have new ideas on how to heal people, on how to change certain things. I think that we definitely need him, and he is going to come from an unexpected source. And then our key card. Wow. Oh my gosh, I just got chills. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the key card, this is what is affecting everything, why everything is coming through. The key card is the Sleeping Lord. Now, in traditional decks, that is the Judgment card. This is, and especially in this deck, so this is the Arthurian Tarot by Caitlin and John Matthews. And so it's all about the Arthurian legends, and the Sleeping Lord represents the awakening of our group consciousness, of shifting things for an evolution. It is a very positive, as much as it is so hard right now. I mean, we have, oh my gosh, we got the Grail 4, we got Spear Fob, we got stabbies and pokies and drowning in our sorrows here. But this is ultimately what we are leading up to, is the Sleeping Lord. And the Sleeping Lord, Arthur, is, if you know anything about the Arthurian legends, he was mortally wounded and he was taken back to Avalon by the Avalon priestesses until he is needed again to heal the wastelands. And we definitely are in the wastelands right now, I really feel like we are. So the wastelands is when things are meek and things are being destroyed, and there is this disconnect between people and the land, and between the, in medieval times, between the king and the land. And so the fact that this is the key card, it just sort of blows my mind a little bit, because it's the coming of Arthur, Arthur rising and really coming forth. And I wonder if that might be the Grail King in December, is that he, and that is, wow, okay, so Avalon Arturo is the winter solstice. That is the winter solstice is the birthing of Arthur. So that's just really, really interesting that we have that energy of, and it's with the Judgment card, it is about looking at who we are and what we want to be, so that we can shift gears, change, evolve, for the betterment of all of us, not just for ourselves individually. And I think that that's a really important thing to keep in mind, is that we are not here just me, myself, and I. Okay, we are social beings. We are so interconnected, through our past lives, which that is also indication of the Sleeping Lord, the Judgment card. It is about looking at who we are, who we have been, and who do we want to be, as both the micro and macro. So who do we want to be individually, as well as who do we want to be as a social group? And we are going to be, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I mean, we are going to be having a lot of challenges this year, but we're like, oh well, what's more challenges? Don't say that. But it is, we had such a challenging year in 2020 that I think a lot of people, the fool, we were really, yay, it's all done, so we're going to be all better now. And I don't feel that it's going to be that way for a while, but a lot of this is about that evolution and having to find out what is most important to us individually, as a group, spiritually, that we can do better, for ourselves, for our group, everything. Okay. And it's just a matter of persevering. And I think a lot of that is that Spear 9 right there, is that perseverance of, this positive energy that, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be change, but it's the goal, the light that we need to keep focusing on is that evolution. Okay. And I know it's difficult, and I think that we're going to have some good things here and there to just keep our hopes up a little bit. But ultimately, we have to rely on each other to keep our hopes up in many ways. And I know that a lot of people have dealt with a lot of depression, since March of last year, if, you're having to work from home all the time. And, once again, this is bringing to light a lot of mental health issues and relationship issues, you can't pretend that you're in a happy relationship anymore if you're stuck in the house all the time together. So just a lot of these things that are uncomfortable, that are not fun. But it is, I think we were just, pretending a lot of the times. It's not that it wasn't there before. It's that we were, going outside of our house to distract ourselves from the things that we really need to be focusing on, which is focusing on our families, wealth. Here, the Stone Queen is about looking within our homes and what all do we need to have? What do we need as opposed to what we want? All of these things that we're really looking at. So I don't want you to feel despair, because there are some not very fun cards here that I think, it's not going to be necessarily very easy. But I think that this is going to make us stronger. And, it starts with the self. Okay. That is a really important thing. And that's the Fool too, right? Of, seeing who you are and what is your heart's desire. And that's also what the Seeker is all about, is what do I want, for myself, for my family, for my community, branching out and things like that. And then really starting to see how you can implement that. So very interesting read. And I'm really interested to see, this whole key card in December and things like that. I hope that you all have a fantastic new year. I hope that everybody, remains healthy and have abundance and prosperity, and, Just keep the faith of knowing that we are in this transition of the age of Aquarius, right? That's what we're doing here. And it's a matter of looking within and looking at, what does our society do and need to make us better individuals and a better society. Okay. So happy new year. And I will announce when I'm going to start doing my live videos again. So have a good rest of your new year, and I will see you later. All right. Bye.